We are one day away from the Sixers tipping off their season, and guess what? James Harden is back again. Kinda, maybe. We'll talk about it all here on Philly Take with RB.
Perfect.
What is up, everybody? RB here. Welcome into the show. You know the drill. Hit the like button, drop a comment for the Al, go subscribe, ring the bell. Don't miss any of the coverage. We will be live every single Sixers game, post-game coverage, a lot more extended coverage as well this season. Tap into the vision, support the show on all platforms. Be sure to join our Discord as well. We have it popping over there. Link down below in the description. Today we're back, and I will be honest, it does not feel like the Sixers' normal start to a season. But then again, when did they have a normal start to the season? Pretty much never. It feels a lot like a few years ago where there's a lot of uncertainty heading into the season. We'll talk about the James Harden updates. We'll talk about a little preview, Sixers and Bucks, and more news as well. But I want to know from the people down below. Give me your honest thoughts. Is there any way the Sixers go into Milwaukee and upset the Bucks on the opening night for the Sixers against Dame and Giannis? Give me your thoughts down below before we jump into it all. A shout out to our sponsor of today's video. Shout out to DraftKings for sponsoring this video. The NFL is finally back. We're in the groove of the season, and the NBA is right around the corner. So there's no better place to join in on the action than DraftKings, an official partner of the NFL and NBA. And right now, any customers who download the DraftKings app, sign up and use my promo code PhillyTake and bet $5 on any wager will receive $200 in bonus bets instantly. And if you want a shot at an even bigger payout, you can use your $200 in bonus bets on a same game parlay to combine multiple bets from the same game, or you could just parlay a few teams that you're really confident will get the W this week. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a perfect time to get some skin in the game. Go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And once again, new users who use my promo code PhillyTake and bet $5 on any wager will instantly receive $200 in bonus bets. This video is brought to you by DraftKings. Shout out to them for partnering. All right, man, let's jump into it. So just some housekeeping stuff from today. The Sixers waived two-way center Azuolas Tubelis. Now, this is interesting. They re-signed Ricky Council IV. The other day, they had waived Ricky Council. We said, okay, the final two-way spots, right, are going to Turk, Javonte Smart, and Azuolas Tubelis. But now, what do they have, a change of heart? I mean, what happened here? They say, all right, bye Tubelis. Now we're going to bring Ricky Council back. So I know people will be happy about that. But yeah, I guess the Sixers kind of flip-flop there, and those will be the 3 two-way spots. Now, Kelly Oubre was asked today if the Sixers are coming into this season hungry. He said, quote, "I'm starving." Look at Kelly, man. Kelly Oubre, underrated, sneaky game tomorrow night. How about it? Kelly Oubre knocking down some threes, jawing a little bit with Giannis and Dame getting in their heads. That's what I want to see, man. Doc Rivers also commented today. He was on the Dan Patrick Show, and he was talking about James Harden, because why not? Everybody in the world is talking about James Harden, which we're about to. But here is what he said about James Harden today. Quote, "It was an honest one," speaking in terms of their relationship. "That's probably why I'm doing TV right now." He said that James Harden's demeanor changed last year after not making the All-Star team, and that you could just feel it, and that there was a severe impact of the way he played. So once again, Doc Rivers deflecting blame here. But of course, they have to go out there and put this out on a day like today. And it's funny, Doc Rivers going to be making his TV debut with Doris Burke and Mike Breen. How about it? But we have to talk about the inevitable, because why couldn't we just come up here and talk about the Sixers-Bucks game that's about to go down tomorrow? Should be a pretty good matchup, right? No, we got to talk about James Harden again. This morning, a bomb put out again. Stop me if you've heard that before about James Harden for the last 5 months. Charania says, after 10 days away, James Harden reported back to the Sixers for practice today. Sources tell The Athletic. Now, again, keep in mind, this is like a 15-minute frame, a 15-minute time frame window, whatever you want to call it. And people are going one way, they're going the other way. So everybody hears, okay, James Harden is back to the Sixers. He's bought in, he dealt with whatever it was, and he came back, and here we are. And then 15 minutes later, the next domino. Sham says James Harden returned to Philly on Tuesday night with his bags packed to join the team on the road for Thursday's game against the Bucks and Saturday's game in Toronto, but the Sixers have now asked him not to travel with the team, sources said. This means a couple things right here instantly in my mind. Number one, a trade could be bound to happen, or number two, he ain't ready to play. Now, from further reports coming out, as Woj is here trying to battle Shams at the same time, he says that James Harden has not practiced since October 15th with the Sixers, and the plan is to allow him to stay in Camden and work with team development staff to get the live action necessary to get him playing games once the Sixers come home from Milwaukee and Toronto. So in game 3 is the targeted start date for James Harden. Now, a lot of different thoughts bouncing around my mind after reading all this. And again, it's been an eventful day. I mean, things just coming out and people saying things and all this. Number one, it sucks. It really does. And I go back to a quote a lot from, I think it was George Niang last year, the year before, where he was on an interview and he said, you know, when that whole Ben Simmons fiasco happened and went down, we didn't even know who was going to be starting one night or the next. It really messed with our team chemistry and just our mindsets as players, right? Because you get in that rhythm of playing every day, and it sucks, man. And now you have another situation because, again, you're at a stalemate, and now you're going into the season and you don't know what the roster could look like in game 3, game 4, game 7, game 10. It's just annoying. That's what it is. It is annoying. And I'm actually really excited to see some of these players in action tomorrow. I'm excited to see this matchup, but I just feel like there's just unfinished business to be dealt with in terms of this trade. And I feel like it's inevitable. I feel like it's going to happen. But at the same time, my other thought is, yeah, maybe they can't play James Harden. You know why they can't play him tomorrow? You know why they told him, you know, don't come on a trip. Like, you have your bags packed, just stay in Philly, stay in Camden. You know why they said that? Because he went away for 10 days without telling anybody what was going on. And I mean, it's just a bunch of mumble jumble. I mean, there's just a lot. There's a lot behind closed doors. Daryl Morey's not going to budge. James Harden's not going to budge. It's just hard for me to buy back into James Harden eventually playing when he literally has told us to our face, I am never playing for a team led by Daryl Morey again. He even said last week he had a chance to kind of recoup it, right? He said at media day or after the fact in one of the practices, he said, you know what? It's like a bad marriage. You know, it cannot be repaired. He keeps telling us. So the people that want to keep having that optimism that he's going to just magically show up and buy in and play well, I just don't see it happening until it happens. I'm surprised he even tried to come back today. But then again, you know, he's limited as well if he wants to continue playing basketball as a career and he wants to get paid eventually, etc. So this is really the only way, but it's going to get ugly. He doesn't want to be here. He's not bought in. And honestly, I'm starting to wonder if he does come back, say game 3, game 4, what if he just does go out there and chuck shots up and doesn't really try? I mean, that's going to mess with this team even more. Now, I am optimistic and I am positive in the sense that I think Nick Nurse is not the type to deal with that BS. And I think he's just taking it day by day, but he, to me, can gravitate more as a leader in this situation rather than coddling like a guy, you know, in terms of Doc Rivers, etc. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Here was a quote from Nick Nurse today when asked about James Harden for the millionth time. He says, quote, he is fine. He understands he's got to get ramped up. And like I said, he's been gone for 10 days, so he understands it. He wants to get back to playing live full court basketball. And that is what Nick Nurse said. Now on NBA Today, Brian Windhorst says James Harden's trade market is, quote, relatively frozen one day before the team's opener. So we already know the deal, man. There's not much trade value. The only way it's going to happen is if Harden comes back and shows something. I hope he does build up his trade value ASAP, or, you know, the other way where Daryl Morey ends up giving in and says, yeah, we'll take whatever. And I don't know what it is at this point. It's been reported a million different ways. I'm excited for the season to start, but I don't like the drama aspect. Again, we saw how that impacted this team a couple years ago, and I just don't know what the solution is at this point. Somebody's got to budge, and they're just not going to. So the league will probably eventually get, you know, involved here. We'll see what happens. But let's talk for a little bit about the Sixers and Bucks. Game 1 tomorrow. I will say these teams usually have good matchups, but do you think the Sixers can pull off an upset? I'm going to go out there and say I think they keep it competitive. I don't think they win. I think Joel Embiid is going to have a good game. Obviously Giannis, but this is the first time we're going to get that live action, a regular game that counts, you know, of Giannis and Dame. You know, they have the anchor in Brook Lopez. They have Middleton. Obviously, they had to part with depth. They had to part with Grayson Allen, for example, but obviously Drew Holiday as well. But at the same time, you know, again, Damian Lillard is a game changer. The Bucks made the splash of the offseason, and they're going to be a really, really good team. I think it might take some time for them to develop that chemistry, but then again, I can say the same thing about the Sixers tomorrow. I'm excited to see Tyrese Maxey with the ball in his hands more. I think Tobias has to have a huge game. I think some of these role players have to really step up big. The D Melts of the world, the Jaden Springers potentially, the Paul Reeds, but I don't know. I just don't think the Sixers have enough to beat the Bucks, but I do hope they keep it competitive. I hope all the drama stays away from this team, and I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. You know, last year the Sixers went 2-2. There was obviously the ladder gate game where Giannis went like 4 for 15 from the line, and you know he's out there after the game, and Trez is trying to take his ball and jawing with him, and the Wells Fargo worker and all that thing happened. And then there was the other game in March where the Sixers scored 48 in the fourth quarter. They erased an 18-point lead. So the Sixers can definitely hang with this team. I just want to see what Nick Nurse's system is really going to look like. Joel Embiid didn't really seem to have good conditioning in the last preseason game when he played, but he did get better in the second half. I just think it's going to take time to mesh. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Sixers and Bucks, ladies and gentlemen, we will be live for that game and every game moving forward. Number one place to watch with Sixer fans. We've been doing this for years. Come along tomorrow night, YouTube right here. We're going to be live direct talking about it, chopping it up. We'll have post-game coverage as well. All that in the third. Welcome to the Sixer Circus. It's going to be a pretty damn entertaining season, that is for sure. Give me your thoughts down below. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. That being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.